Hey, can you see me? Okay, hold on.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monica Branch Show. Woohoo!
Woo!
We are second episode up. I'm so excited. This is my chance to put my lips on, baby. I don't know. It's a very special thing for us girls when we can go put some lips on. So here we are. We're excited seeing you guys joining up.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
All right, we have a very, very special guest tonight. I had to write this down because there's way too many awesome things about this woman, and I'm just going to read it because I couldn't memorize. It was just too much stuff. We have on tonight a real life superhero, and I might just get teary eyed. I don't know. I I'm like that. She's smart. She's an undergraduate. She has an undergraduate degree in neuroscience. I don't know if I can say that correctly. She studied broadcast journalism as well as she's authored the Booty Bible book. Oh my gosh, say that 20 times. She's an athlete, you guys. She's a dancer. She's done a boxing. She is an IFBB pro. She's not just gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's been featured on numerous covers all over the magazine. She's got tons and tons of features. She's creative. She's a costume designer, and even Marvel Comics asked her to create a superhero who just launched this year. We can't wait to talk about that. You guys, she is also a cancer survivor, so I'm so thankful to be able to say that one, and that one definitely brings me to tears. She's an international fitness inspiration, an all-around diva, and she is my friend, Miss Alicia Marie.
Everybody, what's up?
All right, we are in the house, sort of. We're in the camera and the computers, but we're in the house across the nation. You're there in LA, and I'm here in Texas. And I just have to say thank you for technology when it does work. It's so awesome,
right?
And it's so fun to get to see you again.
I know. Technology has really saved us during all of this. It's really kept everyone, like, I can't imagine going through what we're all going through over the world without being able to, like, connect with each other through the internet and digital technology. I mean, we're probably going insane. How? I don't know.
I don't know. It is crazy. And I know when I texted you a couple weeks ago and I got the big no with big exclamation, I could just hear your voice, and it was so fun to just that was just a text message. And here we are getting to live and share some things. I mean, there's so much I want to cover with you tonight. I mean, you really are an amazing woman, and I'm just excited to get to visit and then to share you with my audience too. So I came up with this idea for this talk show just because I wanted to honor the people that are icons, that have helped create this bodybuilding and fitness industry that is now like an $80 billion or $80 million. I don't know. It's a lot of industry, right? And so
crazy.
Yeah. So, I started back in 91, and I know you've been an athlete for your whole life, and you got rolled into the industry early on in the 2000s. So it's great to have you here to share. And I know you've got so much more going on than just the fitness stuff, but you still helped put your footprint into the fitness industry. And I know you have a lot of fans out there in every different area. In fact, one of my friends here in San Antonio today was messaging me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to have Alicia on." So I think Sherry Braxton was coming on. She's a diva herself here in San Antonio. She's got a big name here in San Antonio. She's fitness editor, and she's got her own studio. And so she's a big fan of yours. She's been on stage. And so I know she was excited to see that we were going to talk tonight. But I guess before we kind of get started, just wanted to ask you, how are you holding up with your exercise program, and or not even a program, but just keeping yourself fit and healthy through this time? I think I read one of your posts on Instagram, maybe, where you were like, okay, I've binged on sugar way too much. It's time to get serious. So, so you're normal. We've had these days, right? Right. We've had these days.
Yeah. It's, it's sort of like, I don't think any of us were really prepared for this. I mean, some people who live in areas where you can have more space, have home gyms and stuff like that. But because I have Gold's Venice, like a mile and a half away, and my condo gym is really kind of crazy kitted out, I never needed like a home gym at all.
Right.
So when this happens, I'm like, where everything closed down. So I was like, what are we supposed to do? So then like millions of people like rush to the internet to buy home gyms online.
Right.
Everything's back ordered. Gyms now that sell like curbside workout stuff, you can go wait in line to buy something. So as for me, what I've been doing is I found apps and things like online workouts. I'm one of those people that needs the gym environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like home workouts, I used to do them like in high school and college. So, but it's sort of like a little nostalgic for me right now. But
Mm-hmm.
I like being in class. I like being around other people. It kind of energizes me. So I'm just doing the best I can right now. But I will tell you the one word I use to describe my home workouts right now is lame.
Okay, so I have an idea for you. Would you be a guest on one of my upcoming? You just can come on and participate, but I'd like you to come on my live workout show, or not show, my live workout session. I've got Wednesday night, tomorrow night is one, and then Saturday morning I have, and it's all body weight. It's all it is. So I started doing these over a month ago, just exactly for what you're saying. Like we have to do something, and I thought, well, I'd like to exercise with people, so I'm going to offer these out to people. Complete body weight. It's been a different workout every time. And I do a little warm up and then I do a full workout, and it's all functional movement, lateral, up and down, get off the floor, get up. I mean, it's good. Good work.
Get up.
Yeah. And so I would love for you to come on if Wednesday night, tomorrow night works for you. It's 6:30 your time. And I use Zoom, so we won't have any technical difficulties.
Zoom loves me.
I know Skype is a little, but we got you on here. And then Saturday morning is 11 a.m. Central. So if you like it and you want to come back in, I'd like to have you back in. You'll love it. It's just a great hour of exercise. Okay. You don't need any equipment, so don't worry about all the, lack of equipment. That's why I was doing these. And hey, they've been good for me too, because I needed something myself. And I'm like you, like be around people and have that interaction. Yeah.
You're at Gold's, like you can be like whatever. You go to Gold's, talk about being inspired, man. And just being around people, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to kick it up a notch. When I'm there, that kind of reminds me of where I am, and I need to kind of pull myself out of whatever. But what just happened? Oh, there it is. Now I see it.
Yeah, when we were talking the other day, I realized that you and I would have been neighbors if I still lived where I did.
Really?
Back. I was in Marina Del Rey right there. Marina Del Rey. Yeah. I lived there for 9 years off, a couple different spots, but my last condo was on Tahiti Way.
I love it here.
I know, it's really nice. Of course, like you said, 7 minutes from Gold's. Not that we timed anything, but you're right. If it wasn't such a dangerous walking environment, maybe, walking to Gold's would have been good, but I
realize I'm sitting here and all you guys see is my mannequins, like private parts.
Yes,
so I'm gonna like move her over a little bit. I tried to move her out of the way, and I was like,
Does she have a name?
Actually, I do call her Bella.
Okay, she's beautiful. Yeah, let's move Bella a little.
Let's move Bella over there.
They're a little distracting, but fun. That's awesome.
Naked mannequins.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, so lame. We're gonna have to change that up. We're gonna next time we come on, we'll have to have a different word for your exercise programs after TV. Lame. Hey, fame. Fame goes with lame. So next time it'll be fame. All right, girl. So I just had a couple questions because I didn't know this about you previously, about your dance and your boxing background. Like, that's amazing. I was kind of stalking you on the internet because I know some things about you, right? And then I was like, what is this? This is so cool. I was reading some of your interviews from some of the other magazines, and I thought at least I'd ask you because it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you mean like my boxing background?
Yeah, was it just for fun?
I was never competitive because I was always worried about getting knocked out. And Back in like 2005, I did like a Gatorade commercial that was for like honestly, I forgot what it's for. I think it's for the UK. But they hired me because I knew how to box, and my trainer was a boxer.
Okay.
And they threw us in the ring with choreography, and what people don't tell you about stunt work, I don't do stunts, but what they don't tell you about stunt work is that when you're working with choreography, oftentimes when people start getting tired, they miss their choreography, and they actually do end up hitting each other. That happens a lot in stunt work, apparently. I didn't know that, but she knocked me out.
No.
She threw the wrong punch.
Oh.
And she knocked me out. I was like, yeah, no more.
You weren't ready for that. Yeah. That's so funny. Years ago when I lived in Austin, I did a workout every month for a magazine called Austin Fit. And then I would talk about the workout and what I thought of it. And they'd send me somewhere different every month and come and do video and photos. It was called Kick Mo's Butt. In one of the sessions, they had a boxing, she was rough and tough. She was beautiful, but rough and tough boxer. She was a professional. And so she put me through a workout. And at the end, she surprised me. And they were like, okay, you have to get in the ring and box with her. And I was like, no. But she said, come on, you have to. So, it wasn't like full blown, but I was laughing more than anything, but she really was testing me, and I was like, this is definitely not my thing at all, but it was a good workout anyways, but I thought, yeah, that's not for me. Now, kickboxing, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Awesome. Well, and then you've done some dance as well, huh?
Yeah, my to be honest with you, this is going way back. Woo! I got into fitness because I fell in love with the way that superheroes looked, right? Like, She-Hulk and Wonder Woman and Power Girl. I used to love how they looked. They just looked really bad. I just thought they looked cool when I was a little girl.
Yep.
But I didn't. So the way that I got into fitness was like cardio, like dance classes, calisthenics. Step aerobics. Remember step aerobics?
Oh, yes. I did do a whole lot of it, but I certainly remember it.
I'm like, aging myself, but step aerobics is big. Yep. So I got into fitness that way, like doing stuff that's like high impact, sort of interval training, step calisthenics. I didn't really get into weightlifting as far as fitness goes until I started competing.
Okay.
So dance was part of like my fitness background. So I ballet, modern, contemporary. I tried a few hip hop classes and stuff like that, but I come from ballet and modern. So when I revert back to dance when I stopped training for shows, I just reverted back to dance.
Just have some. So why did you not decide to try fitness competitions?
I did.
You did? Okay.
But I only did Fitness America. I never did fitness in IFBB or NPC. Okay. I did Fitness America and like, do you remember Fitness America and Bikini America?
Of course. Yep.
Yeah, I did fitness, and I'm like 5'8" and a half. I'm tall.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would watch my fitness, like I didn't do too bad. Like I remember in Philadelphia, I came in 3rd place, and then in Canada, in the internationals, I came in 4th, which was good for me because I'm not a gymnast per se.
Right.
But I'm really tall, so I would watch my routines, and like you would see like my legs take like 4 minutes to get around. Some of those moves, I'm like, some of these moves are made for little people that bounce.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
I don't bounce. I don't bounce.
That's so funny. I don't bounce. That's going to be your new hashtag. I don't bounce.
Although one of the funniest things, I think everybody who's done stage in their life has at least 1 or 2 stories that are just super funny. Like you fell off the stage or whatever. One of my funniest stories was in the Canadian Internationals, and I had like a judge routine, and like it opened up, the music was like, now presenting the Honorable Judge Alicia or whatever, and I stood up there with a gavel. And like after every routine, they would clean, every day finished them, they would clean the stage off because of sweat and stuff. They don't want people to fall and hurt themselves, so they clean the stage off. Right. What they didn't tell me was that they made the stage like slick.
Oh no, right.
I got on the stage, and it's like, ho, with my big courtroom backdrop I had up there, and it said, "Now presenting the honorable judge," and I was supposed to like throw my gavel to the left. I threw that gavel, and it took off across that stage about 95 miles an hour. The people in the audience were like, "Ah!" In the video, you see me do this. I was like, okay. Yeah, I did pretty good at this show, so I'm not complaining.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that I can't remember. I guess I was doing an appearance up at the Fame show. What was that, 2005 or 2006? And I met Kathy Savage up there, and
I remember.
Right, and I was hosting the Monica Brandt Fitness Classic and the Body Rock down in Virginia, and
best show ever.
Thank you.
I talked about that show for years later. I was like, I remember backstage with some of the girls who were in my division. We were like, every show should be like this. You guys, I can't tell you. They were like, she had like men in like tuxedos, like lead us onto the stage in our bikinis. It was very classy, and it was just very different. And it really set itself apart show-wise. And everybody was like, you need to do Monica Brandt's Body Rock. You need to do that show. And I was like, it was a good show.
I agree. We were really bummed when we couldn't keep it up. It was just challenging political stuff. But, but it was a lot of fun. And you actually came down with Kathy Savage, right? Like you were part of her team, and you won. Was it the bikini you won?
Yes, I did.
Hey, you were our first bikini competition there. I can't remember if it would have been the first year we did bikini or the second year, but I remember because I was talking to the officials in charge of NPC IFBB, and they were giving me a hard time for going to Fame. And I said, look, I got hired to come up there and do a guest appearance and do seminars. And then the other part is I invited Kathy Savage, who had never done NPC at that point, and she brought a whole team down, and a lot of her girls were winning our show. So I'm like, I mean, they promoted me as an IFBB competitor up there, or IFBB Olympia champion. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I could talk about what I was doing. But anyways, that's where I know we've originally met. And I just always remember, like, Alicia won our show. So it was fun to have that memory. And thank you for the compliment of the show.
Yeah.
So you went on here, and I know that you said you did fitness and bikini and figure. So you kind of stepped into all three categories and enjoyed that to the fullest extent that you could. And I know it gets to a place where it's like, okay, I've kind of had enough. So I know you did a lot of that. And do you know how many covers you actually have? Because it's like I've seen so many of them.
I don't. You know what's funny? I have them all, or at least I have most of them in like framed, but they're all in storage. But I mean, it's one of those things where like I love them, and I miss when magazines were like a thing so much. Mm-hmm. And I mean, while I'm one of those people that loves technology and I love digital, you know, how things have just sort of blown up in that direction because I'm a tech geek, sort of. Yep. I do miss like the whole, I can't wait for the latest issue of Oxygen to come out. I can't wait for the latest issue of Fitness RX. I can't wait for the latest issue of Muscle and Fitness. That doesn't exist anymore. And I do really, that was like for us, like a huge deal.
Yep. It was. Well, it helped shape the industry, and they were really, you know, the industry was really good about creating superstars, and it was, you know, you see all my covers behind here, like this is brand new for me. My husband started putting these up, and I was like, I love it. I've never had my covers up before, and these are just,
I love it.
Maybe a quarter. Yeah, maybe a quarter of my covers, and my husband's like, you can't keep putting more on. It'll look really full in this room. So I'm like, can't we put them all up? But this is the first time. So my first cover, 1994. Mm-hmm. My last cover was this January, and I want to talk to you about this. But I've never had a room to put them up on the wall like this, or my medals or anything. So I was it was really fun when my husband started helping create this wall for me and put things up. It kind of inspired me again, because I just didn't have any of my covers out ever. It was just, it was never a thing.
Do you miss the stage? Do you miss the stage, sort of?
Oh, now you're interviewing me. Well, I get that question a lot, and because I competed all the way up to 2016, 26 years, so people keep thinking I'm coming back and doing something. And, I think what I miss is the journey. I do miss the journey, and I did enjoy the day of. Being ready and feeling like you've done all that, and the day of it's exciting. And then you have the beautiful little awesome suit. And my last one was last few were Tammy Marie suits, and you can't get better than Tammy Marie suits. Nice. And so it's all of those pieces when that comes together. That was what was so fun. And of course, having pictures in that shape is cool too. But I don't see that getting back on stage for me anytime soon is something, just because there's not really a show that I really want to go do at that level. Right.
I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, if something came up that made sense. My last shows were in the UK, and that was really cool. I got invited to come out and compete out there, and I did 2 shows back to back. So that was really fun. And then my husband and I went on a European tour. So
that's nice, though.
Yeah, we took about 2 weeks and just went and visited a bunch of different countries, and had kind of blew a lot of money doing first class everything, because we're like, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. But
that's nice.
It was really, it was really special. We don't, it's not like we have unlimited funds, but we, just decided it was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And it was really special. So we definitely enjoyed it.
That's like the best way to go out with it. The best way to go out with it, on a European tour.
Yep. I hope to maybe get back into track sometime. I think that's something I really miss, having the track competition. So this isn't about me. I wanted to talk a little bit more, but before we get off the cover thing, I wondered if you had seen this.
Ooh, girl, that is gorgeous.
Have you seen this magazine? It's an official magazine. Look.
That is beautiful.
You haven't seen this yet?
No.
So this is the January 2020 cover I was just talking about. You know who puts this out?
That is photography, Sarah.
Yeah, ma'am.
I've seen that picture.
Yeah, this was taken last year in Vegas, and I wasn't even wanting to shoot because I was like, I'm not really in the shape I want to shoot in, yada, yada, yada. 20 minutes later,
gorgeous.
We had this picture, and she surprised me with the cover, honored me with the cover. But she's determined she's going to keep putting out magazines. So she's got another one. Her next one she's working on now, coming out. But we would love to get you in front of her camera again.
I would love to. I love Sarah. I like her because she's creative.
She's very creative.
All of her shoots were very, very out of the box.
Yep.
So I got the last shoot I did with her. I think I got to do a bunch of themes, and it was in the beginning of my costume design sort of career. So she allowed me, we had a bunch of cool themes, and she loves all that stuff. So we had fun shooting.
She does. This is actually her fitness issue, and then she did at the back. She did a whole spread for me. But look at this picture. Let's see if I can get it.
Let me see. Oh, girl!
I mean,
wow.
I dressed, right?
That's beautiful.
I mean, you're right. She's extremely creative. So she and I started working together last year, and we're hosting these epic destination shoots across the country. And so we'd love to have you come to one of the next ones. We'll talk to you off camera here. But our next one, just so you know, is going to be in Lake Tahoe, and we're hoping for July. The end of July is what the schedule is right now. Assuming that everything is, we're able to travel and get there. But that's our next destination, so it wouldn't be too far for you from Vegas.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Well, you'll be there. If she does it, you'll be there.
Yeah, we're working together on these. So how it works is, Sarah already is an amazing photographer, but I'm coming in and helping, and you may not need me at all, but some of the other girls that come in haven't really shot much, and they get a little nervous in front of the camera. So I'm there helping coach them and making sure that everything's flowing, that their hands are in the right spots, that their expression changes up. And so we work tandemly, and what's happened is we've been able to create a whole lot more images in a short amount of time because we're working together. She's shooting her creative and I'm helping pose the girls. And then they've got great looking flat tummies and, the right curve in the glutes and all those things that just, for Sarah to have
things
and help, right? Like, okay, move your hand out from front of your leg or just whatever, but we work together on it. And of course we bring in the makeup artist and hair and makeup artist and the beautiful location. So we'll have to talk more about that. See if we can get you there.
I'm in.
Awesome.
Especially, and then come July, we're all going to be so stir crazy and insane and just wanting to do things create and do and be.
Right.
I think I will say this: when everything does finally, I don't think it's going back to normal anytime soon, but when it goes back to some version of normal, I think every industry is going to blow up because people are going to be like inside.
Yes, we got to do this way. Right. Well, but one last thing I want to say about the shoots, we've got Kona, or it's either Kona or one of his official staff guys will come out, and we're doing videos for the girls too. So
that's awesome.
They end up get social media, nice, beautiful little social media videos that they can use or however they want to have them done. 30-second ones or 10 minutes or whatever they're looking for. We can have that extra little piece of the photo shoot for those people. So it's cool. It's it's an experience. It's not just a photo shoot. It is an experience. And then, working with Sarah and I, and it's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah. So, okay. Tell me, dear, about your book, The Booty Bible, because, everyone, that's the biggest question. How do you build your butt? How do you do for your butt? La, 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 la. So I'm sure that's why you decided to do that book.
Yeah, butt stuff has always been, and this is one thing I will say about dancers. Dancers always have nice butts.
But
and it's because they're always using their lower body. They're always making sure that when they are completely lower body. It's about engaging and getting those muscles firing in the lower body constantly, and it's like over and over and over. That's why dancers always have those tight little buns like that. So I'm a firm believer in, yes, working out, but let me tell you something. If you're not eating, you can't build a butt out of thin air. So one of the things I will say is you have people who really want to build a bigger butt or whatever, more butt, but then they're starving themselves. And I'm wondering if they're really making a mental connection between how things happen in your body. Your muscles need food to help them get bigger. So when people say your butt got better, I was like, I'm eating more.
Yep.
Nutrition is way too big of a factor in getting your body where you want it to be when you're training than people really give it credit for. And I'm not talking about fitness people, competitors. Y'all know, because it's been beaten into you a million times. Beaten into you. Nutrition is everything. But for the everyday person, they're like, oh, yeah, let me start with working out and then I'll start with my food. And I'm like, you kind of have to sort of start integrating them at the same time. Otherwise, it's just going to take you a really long time to see results. It's a trifecta. It's nutrition, it's rest, and it's training. And then you have to have your supplements, you know what I mean? Your BCAAs, glutamate, it's everything.
Vitamin C, zinc, and selenium now.
Yeah, it's everything
for the immune. No, you're so right about that. And I like how you worded it. You said your nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And that's what I've tried to tell people forever. And I usually try to say it's sleep then nutrition, but I think they go hand in hand, right? If you're not sleeping enough, you're going to want to eat more because the hormones that come out when you sleep and, you can control them when you're sleeping better. And when you're tired, you don't have the same control over this hormone, the hunger hormone. So anyways, not to get off that, but it's so true. And I'm happy to hear you say that. Now, one of the things over the last, here's a little funny story for you. I started running track competitively in the Masters USATF division in 2012, the beginning of, and I started working with this coach who's a sprint coach who I'd never worked with an official sprint coach. And so he had me come out to the track, and he actually was a fan of mine. So the first time he came out, he brought one of my old magazines. He's like, I'm not a stalker, but can you sign this? I'm like, sure. So he knew my legacy, I guess, in the industry. So, and the funny thing is he brought my very first 1994 cover, and we're talking, this is 2012. So that's how long he had the cover, and he knew exactly where it was. So anyways, I sign it for him. He's working with me, and then he says, "So I have to tell you something that I don't want you to take offense to or whatever." But he's like, "I know you've been known for your glutes in your industry." He's like, "But you have really weak glutes." And I was like, "What? What's that?"
Like, those are fighting words.
Okay, and I just kind of didn't know what to say because I don't know. I didn't know. But what happened is over those years, since 2012, I have really learned how to engage my glutes at all hours of the day, not just when I'm doing some glute exercise that is, that's supposedly known for, building glutes. So it has changed my posture. It's changed my hips. And now that's one of the big things that I share and teach to clients, to people when they come to my sessions. Of course, when I do these live sessions, I'm coaching a lot on posture, and I'm doing exercises and coaching on how to do the exercise to correct posture and to engage the glutes correctly. And I know that it's been a huge help for me. What we're looking at almost 8 years now, right? Am I doing my math right? Yeah, 2012 to, I'm like, am I doing math right? He gave me double thumbs up. Like, oh my gosh, it was almost like, I can't believe it's been that many years. But anyway, so yeah, for sure the glutes, to get them to engage at all times of the day is important, not just when you think you're doing an exercise or something. So that's really important for people to understand. And I'm teaching Kona about it too, the guy here that's on my, whoops. And we've got someone coming in that wants to say hi.
Oh my God! Hello, sweetie. Oh wait. Let me get 1 second.
Oh, big yawn. She's like, I'm tired.
Nope. Let's see. They're saying hi.
Oh, there's your baby too. Super cute. Aww, our babies. My snout.
It's like dog. We're like fitness anyway. Dogs.
So I've got the longer snout and you have the longer legs. I always ask her, how do you go anywhere on these little legs? But she does. They're so cute.
How many do you have? You have 4? 3?
No,
2?
just her. And then I've got an Australian Shepherd, mini Australian Shepherd. Okay, hang on. It looks like I've got a question or a comment. Hang on. I gotta look.
It's okay. I'm sorry I woke you up. I'm sorry. She's like,
who was that? Oh, Garrick.
Thank you.
Garrick, thank you. I'm sorry. I have challenging eyesight. I'm not going to say bad. I'm just going to say challenging eyesight. So reading the screen is really hard for me. But Garrick, thank you so much for giving us some love and some support. So this brings me to the next kind of conversation here. So I have had something that I've dealt with my entire life with my left eyeball. When I was born, it was completely white. It was so turned in, like it was so crooked. And I guess at 9 months old, they gave me a surgery on my left eye to try to straighten it. And then again in 3rd grade, I had another surgery. And then, on the muscles to try to pull it straighter. And I wore those big old crazy Coke bottle glasses. And when I was a kid, everyone called me Four Eyes and Coke bottle glasses and all these kind of, it's all right. And then when I ended up doing this modeling thing, I got really insecure about my crooked left eye when I was tired. And so I finally learned how to talk about it to photographers going, hey, if I'm posing in this position with my head turned this way, my eye goes crooked. I had to just finally start talking about it because otherwise I felt really insecure about it and it made me shut down. And then no one knew why I was shutting down. But it was just weird about, I didn't like looking at myself in a picture with my eye crooked. So over the years, I've learned how to deal with it. And then I've had cornea surgeries already.
I didn't know that.
I've had corneal scrapings. I've had so much eye stuff. So I think I don't want to talk too much about that, but it's the same thing. Like a lot of people don't know that about me. And just like I know a lot of people don't know about your hearing. And when
it's crazy to me. I literally talk about it in every interview. I have it in all my bios. People don't know.
No, people don't. My dog's barking out the window. She sees someone walking by. It's okay. Maybe just close that window. The window being open. We got the window open here, and the dogs are like, we're not used to that window open, so they see people walking by. So I've learned to kind of overcome a lot of my eye issues. I've had, all these surgeries, and so I totally appreciate just the struggle that some of these things cause for people, and a lot of people looking into our lives don't realize that there are things that we struggle with because they just look, they don't read, right?
Yeah. They see that the hour, they think everything must be perfect in that person's life because of that perfect or well-lit Instagram photo. And I'm like, oh my goodness. If you could, and see, knowing the stuff that I deal with, just in general, especially in the past 3 years, has been like a volcano of whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't know that, like, I really do believe that everybody has their cross to bear. And the more I meet people, like you meet your heroes and you get to talk to them and they share their stories, like on socials, like you do, like I do, you realize everybody is struggling with something.
Right.
So that's why you can't look at like the glossy picture on Instagram and assume everything's perfect. When people do that, I'm like, do you really, you have to really, and you're right though, people don't read at all. Mm-mm. Like I'll put like an entire explanation and people are like,
what'd you say? What? Yeah. Well, I think when you and I first started communicating, and I can't remember, we just started talking back a few years back. I don't know if it's been, 2012.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to have been this last 8 years or so. And I know the first few times that I was messaging you, trying to talk to you about something, I can't remember what we were going to talk about. And you told me, you were like, I need to do Skype, or, back then we didn't have Zoom, and you wanted to do Skype so that we could see one another. And yeah, because you can read lips.
like crazy. It's almost like, I call it a superpower, but I lost my hearing in my 20s. So, I mean, literally, like, I had to adjust to losing a major faculty. And the worst part about it is that audiologists in New York City were like, well, we don't know. We think it might be genetic. It might be related to this, that. That was the scariest thing to hear when you're like 25 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm going to lose my freaking hearing. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm not lying. I went through periods of like major depression, major depression. Fitness and competing did help me find myself because it gave me something to look forward to. It gave me something to make me feel like proud to accomplish. And I think everyone needs to feel like they're doing something. I think when people are stagnant and they're kind of like just sort of, what am I doing here? That's when people fall into deep depression. So my way of combating that is always, well, I'm doing something. I'm going back to school. I'm getting a degree in this. I'm getting that. I'm doing this because I like to be doing. So when I started losing my hearing, it was just a major blow to my self-esteem. And over the years, as my hearing declined even worse, it changed my personality. And I've always been very like, talkative and chatty, and I'm a people person. Mm-hmm. I kind of like I'm really nosy. Like I'm the person that if there's a crazy person somewhere on the block, I'm probably having a conversation with them on the street because I want to know what made you decide to pair that plastic bag with those shoes. Whatever.
You and I would be in trouble together.
But with my hearing loss, it changed that aspect because I began to develop this anxiety of not being able to hear someone's responses. Mm. So I stopped engaging with people. I stopped going to like taking classes because I like taking classes. I always love learning. I'm like a lifelong student. I love classes and everything. If I could take a class in underwater fudge making, I would.
Do they even have that?
That'd be good. But I would be taking classes and I'd be falling too far behind, so I just stopped.
It's hard to do it all, Superwoman. Even you, a superhero. So tell me, because I have rapid fire questions for you. But before that, I want to ask you just to share about the implant that you have now for your hearing, and thankfully you don't have to rely on just lip reading, but can you share about that? Because I can definitely not speak on that. And there may be someone out there that's going, oh my gosh, that is exactly what our family or somebody that they know or themselves need. So Can you share what that is?
Well, okay, a cochlear implant is basically, you have to have a healthy eardrum. Everything has to be, your inner ear has to be intact for it to be eligible for it. But basically, I like to call myself I'm a real life cyborg. Because I have a microprocessor in my head. I have a computer in my head that actually transmits signals to a receiver that's on my ear. that picks up sound and then transmits. It bypasses the inner ear and goes right to the computer. So it's basically it's bypassing the parts of my ear that are broken. Inside your inner ear, you have these little hairs called cilia that help move sound. You know what I'm talking about? The little hairs, they move sound.
I've seen it on the diagram.
Yeah, when you hear something, they do like this, and they help to move sound so that you process it. The hairs in my ear do this. Instead of, they don't work. So everything else inside works. Right. It's just the things that bring sound in. So I was nervous for years. I've known about cochlear implants for forever. They've been around for years. But I was always really scared about someone, cutting my head open. And I was always like, gosh.
How do they put them in?
There's a whole scar here, stay at the side of your head underneath here. And then they cut it open and then go in. It's amazing. It's like a little laser. And the computer is probably that big.
Like a little seed.
It's crazy, and it does all that work. So I decided finally I was ready to rejoin life. I was like, I'm going to get done in 2019 because I want to rejoin. I want the second chapter of 2000 whatever to be me coming back to life a little bit. I'm not going to say it's been easy, and it does not. I noticed, because I've spoken to people who've also had it done, it doesn't work the same for everyone. So you kind of have to go in with your expectations, like I'm just going to work at it because it's a learning experience. Your brain has to relearn sound. Like the first week that I had this activated, I was like, what the heck is that noise? And my fiance would be like, it's the air conditioner. So little things, that like your brain just pushes back as ambient noise. My brain is like never heard before. So it's like, what is that noise? And can someone turn it off? It's the air conditioner. Or like I'm in the car driving and I'm like, what is that ticking noise? And I'm like, oh, it's the turn signal.
You had to relearn things.
Yeah. So it's been interesting.
Wow. Well, I'm so thankful that you had that done. And thank God for people that can come up with those things. Technology, right? That's awesome. All right, so we're going to do our rapid fire questions, Alicia.
Oh, sorry.
And you don't know these questions. And after this, we're going to come back and have a break. So, all right, so these questions, some of them you'll have one word, and maybe you'll have something. Some of them will be like what comes to mind first. Okay.
Okay.
You ready? Okay, and we're supposed to be fast. My husband gives me a hard time because I don't go fast enough. Okay.
God.
Who is the strongest superhero female of all time?
Ooh.
I know this answer.
Captain Marvel.
No, female.
Huh?
Female.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. The Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers.
Well, I read it was Wonder Woman, so I don't know. You need to go.
Wendy's strong, but I mean, I've done debates on whether I think it sort of depends. I have Wendy up top, and then I have She-Hulk, and then but Captain Marvel's kind of. I mean, she's kind of.
Hey, I debate you, girl. You know this more. I just went to Google, and that's what I found. But all right, what's your favorite fitness magazine cover that you've been on?
What'd you say?
Your favorite fitness magazine cover. Or fitness, or cover. It doesn't have to be fitness. What's your favorite?
Oxygen. It was Oxygen 2008, I think.
Okay.
Oh, crap.
Well, it's okay. Hey, I believe it. I have some favorite Oxygen covers too. All right. Out of all of the shows that you competed in, fitness, figure, bikini, do you remember which show, and win or lose, you thought was your best physique package that you brought?
Oh, I think every competitor has this show too, where they're like, you know what, I really brought that show. I'm going to say it was the NPC USA's in 2008 NBC USA's. I actually liked and you know what's funny? It's usually when you're going through personal turmoil that you put your best, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and I was having relationship issues and
yeah. Okay, I have to hurry because this is rapid fire. We're kind of rapiding, but not much. Do you prefer to say female superhero or superheroine or superhero girl? Like if you use the term.
I just like superhero.
Superhero. Okay. Best glute exercise.
Favorite glute exercise?
Your best glute exercise. Your go-to.
I always lift bridges, like the ones where your shoulders are up. Bridges, hip hinges, whatever they people call them. Yep. Those are always my favorite.
Okay, are you a sprinter or a long distance runner? If you had to, my own heart. Who is your least favorite superhero male?
My least favorite?
Yep.
Oh my God. Let me think someone I can't stand.
Everyone always asks you.
Okay, I'm gonna say Catman only because he doesn't make sense, and he's not well known, and he doesn't make sense to me.
He doesn't sound very superhero-ish.
Catman.
No.
Google it.
Catnapper or something. Okay, which is your favorite beach? Any location in the world? Favorite beach? Since you live in Marina Del Rey, I thought that would be appropriate to talk about.
Favorite beach. Gosh, this is tough. Damn, I can't do fast. Let's say.
I can't do fast.
Someone in St. Martin was beautiful. Someone in St. Martin that was gorgeous.
Okay, I've been there one time for an appearance years ago, and it is gorgeous there. I will agree with you on that. Who is the first female superhero ever?
Who was the first?
Yeah, do you have date and name?
God, this is terrible. You know, this one is I'm definitely not going to know because I started with Wonder Woman back when it was the Wonder Women back in the you know what I mean?
Do you know
for me it was Wonder Woman, but I'm not sure the very first one was.
Okay. Well, I have written down and I Googled it, so if Google's wrong, it said February of 1940 Phantoma, the Jungle Comics, and then
that makes sense. That's so funny.
March 1940, Woman in Red, Thrilling Comics #2. So anyways, 1940 they came about. All right, and then here's your last question, Alicia. Okay. Think really hard about this one. This isn't very important. You answer this question. I don't leave home without ...
I what?
I don't leave home without.
I don't leave home without a protein shaker, which is really cheesy and lame, but I always have one.
Where's my ding or my dong? No, like fancy lip gloss or anything. It's okay. Hey, that's a protein shake. That way you can. Okay, so we're going to go to break real quick, you guys, and we will come back for more interesting, great stuff with Alicia. She's a cancer survivor. She's a superhero. We want to learn more about all of these things. So you guys step back in when we come back. All right, we're back from the break. We got a big break, didn't we, Alicia?
Yeah, we did.
All right, girls. So I'm just, I don't even know how to talk about this piece with you, but I'm just so thankful that you are here to talk about it because, cancer is such a big, big thing. And it's really, you just don't know, you don't know, if someone's going to make it or not. And I mean, I am a true believer that God predicts our timing. And I'm just thankful that he kept you on earth because he has more for you, girl, to do. So, but I would like to know, can you just share, because
you make me cry.
Hugs, dear. I just, and this is an important thing because I know when you were talking to me about it, you were discussing, how you found out about it and then kind of the process. So just so that other women can understand, and some of these younger girls that maybe don't really know about how to test for it and what to look for and what to do at that point. So if you don't mind sharing, because it ends beautifully because you're here with us.
It's one of those things where people have been telling you since the beginning of time, if you have a pair of boobs, to
a pair of boobs,
to always be doing the self checks, right?
Right.
I think we hear it, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other most time. When was the last time you did a self check in the shower? You're supposed to do in the shower when you're like all soapy and stuff. Okay. I lost my sister to colon cancer in 2018. And it was a traumatic experience that it changed me and changed my life and how I view everything forever. Talk about people be like, oh, that doesn't, I do a lot of live streams and I have, you get trolls, you get people that come in and are like, blah, blah, because I have a very young following. So people be like, oh, blah, blah, like this. Nothing will bother me ever again. After going through, that. But what it did, I will say this, is it made me hypervigilant about cancer in general. So I went and had genetic testing done because now that we live in very amazing times and I'm very into technology and kind of the future and all that stuff. And so I had genetic testing done after months after my sister passed away to find out if I was genetically predisposed to certain cancers. They can tell.
Wow.
Well, they found out that I'm not. They were like, doctor was like, wow, cool. You're not genetically predisposed to any cancer, but you have a 15% chance of getting breast cancer. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, 15% chance, but everything else is clear. That made me start testing myself. 6 months later, not even maybe 4 months later, I'm in the shower and I'm like, what's that? And so I went to my doctor and she's like, women, boobs are like fleshy tissue. Sometimes you can have a water cyst. It could just be a water cyst or something that they just go away. And but just because, it's about time you had a mammogram anyway, we'll send you in. So I went in and the tech said, I want to do an ultrasound. And the ultrasound tech said, I want to do a biopsy. And all across me, I'm getting more and more worked out as this moving forward. And then I was getting ready to do a live stream regarding, I think we were going to be cooking in a live stream or something. This is for Facebook. And my doctor's like, I hate the fact that I have to do this over the phone. And I hate the fact that this is Friday and you have to go through the weekend. But it is breast cancer. And the worst part about it is the one you found beneath it is another small one. And they're both malignant. They're both cancer. So then she started going into chemo and radiation. And I'm sitting there like this. I have to go live in 15 minutes. So, the next few months were kind of hellacious because I had to go through the actual surgery itself, which was a lumpectomy. I had to go through bilateral lymph node dissection under my arm, double check, which was kind of a weird recovery. I don't know why it was so horrific a recovery. And then 7 weeks of radiation. So you're in the hospital every day for 7 weeks. Every day you're in the hospital.
Wow. So, goodness.
But I'm thankful that I caught it so early, one, so I'm lucky. I have nothing to complain about on that front. And then secondly, that I had the kind of support system around me, because I know a lot of people don't have that. But
Right.
My whole thing in all of this is I just want people to understand that it can literally happen to anyone. I am super healthy. I've always been a health nut. I eat healthy. It isn't like I'm a smoker or a drinker. So cancer can come for anybody. So
do you?
I just want to check.
Check like your mic. Do you? And this may be really not a good question, but it just crossed my mind. Do you think that there's anything to do with you having gone in there and the thought of it and the checking of it and what that did to your mental and your, the body and how it responds sometimes from things that we think about, or, how sometimes they talk about like what you think about, you bring about? I mean, have you ever thought about that?
Oh, you mean like manifesting, that whole thing?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just crossed my mind because I've heard that so many times. What you think about, you bring about. And and I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just like, have you considered that or thought about that? Because, it was so coincidental that you went in there and did all that testing and then had that. But I'll just say, God can use anything bad for his glory and for his good. So I know that what you have survived and gone through, that you're strong enough. God doesn't give us anything that we're not strong enough to handle. And so you are strong enough to handle that. And he has a lot in store for you still, and a lot of people that you're supposed to bless and love on. And he kept you here for all of that. So I just want you to, I have to say that to you.
I do. I mean, even though when I was going through it, it was depressing, I do feel very, very lucky that, and my doctors always say to me, they're like, you have no idea how nobody would have caught that. Nobody would have caught that. You caught it because you were looking for it, so you caught it. They're like, nobody would have caught that. So she's like, if we had found that a year and a half from now, we'd be having a very different conversation. And that always sticks with me.
Well, I'm sure that somebody listening to this either tonight or into the future will hear this story, and it will affect somebody in a very positive way. And I know God can always use our stories for other people when we share them and we have the right attitudes about it. So I'm just thankful that you've shared that, and I'm so thankful that you're here. So I want to talk about something a little more exciting, a little more fun.
Okay.
What you're involved in, because it's so crazy. And first of all, before we talk about it, I did bring something that I thought of you when I brought this out.
What's up?
So here's a funny story. A couple of years ago, I was hosting these retreats here in town, and I've always done workouts for people and women, and I was going to the track and doing these workouts and then going out into doing obstacle course racing training for the women too, just trying to do some really different things. And the women kept getting scared, going, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I don't know if I can do this stuff. I don't know how to do this, yada, yada. So what I did was I started calling my workouts Wonder Woman training.
That's awesome.
Because then everyone's like, I want to do Wonder Woman training. I want to be a Wonder Woman. I'm like, everything I do, hey, Wonder Woman has to run fast. She has to be able to jump. She has to be able to hang. She can fly. Like all of the things that I do when I coach women on the track or on the obstacle course stuff. And so I've been calling my stuff Wonder Woman training, and I have quite a few. And so I've had a lot of fans send me Wonder Woman stuff. It's kind of out there nowadays. But anyways, this is my bottle, and it says Live Radiantly.
I love it.
And then I have a little surprise I want to talk to you about. So we're going to show you something really quick. Kona's got set up, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
If you remember this.
Let's see.
There it is. Do you remember this?
Oh my God! Yes, I do. Yay! It was like, I remember. I was like, Monica's gonna cosplay. This makes me so happy.
So you remember?
I love it. I love it.
I couldn't find my ear thing or my eye mask. I know I have them, but I just couldn't find where I put them. And I thought it'd be kind of funny to wear this, but then I'd be sitting here like half naked. And well, when I was researching to put this costume together, I was like, Alicia. And then when I messaged you, I'm like, do you have Miss Marvelous? And you're like, oh my gosh. And you sent me all your pictures. And then I took those pictures in, and I took the character offline, and I went in and I had Taylor that designed and made this. And we had so much fun with Halloween that year. Did you see Brad's picture of being, what is it, Captain Sparrow? Captain Jack.
It's so awesome.
I know. And then little Deja, our goddaughter, wanted to be Annabelle. And then you see the one where Brad's got me. He's got handcuff around me, and I'm Miss Marvelous trying to get away, and I can't because Captain Jack is so powerful. And so he had me captive for Halloween. We had so much fun with that. Brad went to my makeup artist and got his makeup done, and it was like, I'm not a Halloween dresser. I thought I would like to wear Miss Marvelous again sometime. And I'll just throw this out there before we kind of talk. If you ever come up with something that I could come out as Miss Marvelous and be involved in, let me know, because it'd be really fun to come make a Miss Marvelous appearance. And I don't know if that's
you should.
Just keep me in mind, because maybe that's my next training goal. That's my next training goal.
You live in Texas now, yeah?
Correct. I'm a straight flight to LA, so it's pretty easy.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about, what you're doing, because I know you're designing costumes, and this is something that you absolutely love doing. And I just, I want to hear, because I'll tell you, every time I see your pictures with the different costumes that you have, and I'm assuming you've made, you are stunning, and you are the actual superhero every time you put that costume on. And I'm like, that is just amazing. You're like the, what is the lizard that changes colors? The, what's the lizard?
Mystique or no?
No, a chameleon. Yeah, like you're that chameleon. Like every costume you put on, you have the hair and the designs on the face and the hands, and I'm like, how does she do that? That's so crazy. So tell us a little bit about that and how you got into that.
Well, when I was younger, I used to always make costumes, but obviously I didn't have the materials and the access to things. I didn't know anything what I was doing when I was younger, so I just would make costumes from stuff around the house, and I would enter like costume contests and stuff like that. I always won, and I was like, oh shoot, I made that out of like my mom's old dress from blah blah blah, and I'd get really excited. Well, I kind of just over the years would just do it at Halloween, and then in 2012. I had the opportunity to finally go to San Diego Comic-Con, which is like winning the lottery. Oh, it's like going to
There we are, by the way.
I freaking love it. But yeah, so I had the opportunity to go to San Diego Comic-Con in like 2011, I think. And I was like, if I'm going to go, maybe no, it was 2010. Whoa, that's a long time ago.
20 years, girl. I mean, wait, 10 years.
Crap. Yeah, so I was like, oh, crap. So I was like, well, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go as Storm. So I met with a friend of mine who actually makes Batman costumes. This is before I started making my own costumes. And he'd been going to cons since like the early 2000s. So he helped me put together this amazing like Storm costume, but from the 90s. The 90s is silver and black. And I went, and the response from like the media and from fans and people was so great that I was just hooked. I was like, I'm just going to live as Storm and a superhero for the rest of my life. Thanks.
Don't have to go back, Alicia.
This is before cosplay became like a normal thing. Like now a lot of people do it. Back then it was still like, why are you wearing a costume? It's like February.
I'm playing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So but I've always loved making things. So, I mean, right now I'm in school for art and design to learn actual like construction, because I fly by the seat of my pants and always have been. Even there behind me, that's Wonder Woman's up there. Foam.
Yes.
And but above me is like a whole bunch of I don't know if I can see props. I also make props too. The Power Rangers. Oh yeah, I make props and stuff too. But I like sticking to costumes, so it was something that just kind of stuck. And because it just said I have a natural knack for pulling things together. So I was able to, I started working with like game design companies and productions and movie studios, just creating costumes based on their characters. And It's been really it's like I literally fell into it. Now I'm doing something I love like every day. It's crazy. But it's a journey. It takes you a while to get there,
Right. That's what everyone forgets. There's a big journey behind anything that people do successfully. There's always a big journey.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. In this day and age, everyone wants something automatic and they want it right away and they don't want to work hard for it and they don't. Yeah. But I mean, the cool thing is that you can design them, Alicia, but you can wear them too and show what the superhero is actually supposed to look like. It's so cool.
It's like the thing about cosplay I love is blending, like you said, like blending like the muscle and the fitness part
Mm-hmm.
with like the costuming. Like that's my little brand there, is that I like combining the fact that I'm like a fitness chick, but I also love costumes and I love superheroes, because I do think that strong bodies are there's nothing like a really strong body, like just in general. So I've always been a freak that way, a muscle freak. So
I agree. I think it was funny you were talking about some people when they see you and they're like, "Oh, have you ever thought about competing?" And you're like, "Ah."
Oh God. Yeah. Like, competing. I was like, I did, and I loved it. I did it. I mean, I will say that I would not. A lot of what I have right now is because of what I did in fitness. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's why I may have moved out of professional fitness as a career, but a lot of it helped, like the transition. I transitioned, but I still I transitioned into another area career.
Right.
But fitness was like my first platform, and so always be home for me. Sort of.
Sure, it's
home.
Well, it's what you go back to, and it's what keeps you grounded, probably, because you got to go in there and push some weights around. You got to eat correctly. It's not like you can't just eat whatever and not work out and exercise and stay looking the way you look. So it always comes back to like, hey, I have to do this too. And, just because I look like this doesn't mean that I will stay like this if I don't take care of myself. And even on the health side, like we might be able to get by because we're more muscular, eating a little bit more, unhealthy things, but then we still have to worry about our health, have to worry about organs working well and, having clean blood and all the things that, good nutrition brings. So that's awesome. So, okay. I know we're kind of probably getting time, which is sad. I always love, talking to you. It's so much fun, but I think we could probably stay on here and yap the rest of the night. But I wanted to see, and I'm going to ask the guys here, are there any questions that are up that maybe I have missed? Everyone's just kind of supporting. So I don't know if we have any specific questions. If anyone is listening and wants to ask anything to Alicia, please don't hesitate to type in a question. But I do want to just say thank you to everyone. And I'm looking over here because I can't see. I didn't see the big screen, but I just want to say thank you to everyone. I see my mom's on here. What does she say? What did Mom say? Alicia Marie, what? So fun and lovely from my mom.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mom Branch. Monica.
That's right. So, okay, so fans can get hold of you where?
What'd you say?
Where can fans get hold of you or find you? Just share all the places that you are available for fans to come find you, follow you, leave you wonderful comments.
On most platforms under Alicia Marie Body, and that's like just like an old name that it's stuck, even though it's kind of cheesy. But Alicia Marie Body on Twitter, Alicia Marie Body on Instagram. And I think on Facebook it's Alicia Marie Live on Facebook, because I used to do a whole live stream on Facebook now that I've kind of transitioned into on Twitch. So I moved over a little bit. I only do it sometimes now. I took a huge break. But I do miss live streaming because it's a good way to connect to people. So I'll go back afterwards sooner or later.
Okay. And then what do you have, like, business wise? Is there anything that fans can purchase from you? I know you've got your books. How do people buy your book?
Yeah. The book is on Amazon. I know that like for me, a lot of people want me to do way more fitness stuff. And when I do, it is definitely on the docket for me as soon as I finish like 15 different commissions, costume commissions from different companies I have got to get done during this shelter in place. But I do plan on having more fitness stuff come out, just because it's something that has been asked of me all the time. And it's not like it's difficult for me. It's just pure laziness. I need to pull myself up and get it done.
Girl, you are not lazy. Come on now.
What'd you say?
You're not lazy. Come on now. You're busy. But, busy and lazy are different.
I know. It's just like trying to, it's just time. It's literally time.
And
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, speaking of time, you're engaged. Is this correct?
Yes, of course. I've been with the same person for like 11 years now. Well, 11 years this year. 11 years.
Awesome.
Long time.
Have you guys set a date? Or is it
Let's just say it'll be this year.
Ooh. How fun! Are you making your dress? Are you going to dress up as some Wonder Woman character or somebody?
Yeah, we have ideas, and it's kind of a surprise. So.
Okay. Well, I won't ask you to ruin the surprise, but I can just imagine like a white Wonder Woman costume or something that's like you can pretend whoever your Storm or whoever this is, right? I could
it's like superhero. It'll be like we're coming down with like Star Trek or whatever.
Star Trek music.
I have big, huge Star Trek fan because I like sci-fi. So, but that's the rabbit hole of the rabbit hole of Alicia's geekdom is scary. So tread carefully. But I wanted to mention something.
Okay. Yes.
You guys like multiplayer video games. I don't know how many of you are out there that are gamers. I'm a huge gamer. I love game culture. I might be trashing a lot of games, but that's not going to stop me from playing. The new Predator game dropped last week, and it's called Predator Hunting Grounds. It's available on PlayStation and Windows PC for those of you who are master race PC gamers. The game, I'm actually in the game, and I'm a playable character. I'm a field soldier, so I appreciate all these screenshots of me dead and getting my spine ripped out. I appreciate those.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, look, Alicia. Yeah. I'm like.
Oh, that's so funny. That's a really different thing, to be able to say that. That's really unique.
I love video games. So it was kind of a lifelong dream to be in a video game. So I finally got to go down to Sony Interactive, and they did all the stickers on your face and stuff, and I had to make all the expressions, and I had to do all that stuff. So I had to sit on that for a year because
you couldn't say anything about it.
Like, yeah.
I can talk about it now. So how do people... and forgive me, I know nothing about this. So have you already said how people can find you, where they find you on that to play you? Does that sound right?
Yeah, how do they have to play Predator Hunting Grounds. It's like multiplayer shooter game, so it's fun.
So if someone knows what that is, they'll be able to find you. If they if that registers with them, they'll be like, I'm gonna go find Alicia. Okay, cool.
Trust me, once you start playing, you'll see like the character creator options come up, and I'm one of the field soldier creator characters you can be. So
well, I'll tell you this: I don't play games like that, but if I did, I would want to play and do as my field soldier. I don't know, but that's awesome, and it's fun to see you happy and excited about what you're doing. And it's when we're that excited about what we do, it's not work, right? It's just what we do, but it's not work. It's a career, and it's fun, and you get to do what you love, and that's really what we all strive to do: is find that path that we get to do what we love and love what we do. And so it's fun to see you happy with that. And I'm excited for you to have, your man in your life that taking care of you, and you're taking care of him. And that's wonderful. I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, there's a Bible verse that I'm thinking of, and it says, a man that finds a wife finds favor with the Lord.
See?
It's in Proverbs. I want to say it's Proverbs 18:22, or it's 22:18. I think it's 18:22. But I'll have to send it to you, and that way you can show him when he comes home. See?
I love it. Like,
you'll have favor with the Lord when you marry me. So let's do it now.
I love it. I love that verse. I like that verse.
I know, it's a great verse. So just think of what happens when the men lose their wives for their own selfish reasons, and then they don't have favor with the Lord anymore. There's that. I don't know one verse that says a woman that finds a husband has favor with the Lord. It doesn't say that. It just says it about the man. And this is not trashing. This is scripture.
I like it. I can dig it.
I love it. Well, I've had so much fun with you, and I just really appreciate your time. And I know everyone has, limited time, especially at night, because there's kids and husbands and wives and dinners to cook. Dogs, right? Mine is has to sit on my lap because she's not happy otherwise. But I just really appreciate our time together and getting to connect and share all your awesome stuff. And so we'll have to close this out pretty soon now. I want to say
I miss you.
Oh, Alicia, I miss you too, girl. And so good to see you. We'll keep in touch. And I just want to say a giant Thank you to Lisa Pure and DJ Groover for letting us use the One Life song in this show. You guys, if you're interested, this is the this is the song that's playing right now.
And yes, I hear it. It's a jam.
Go to lisapure.com. That's Pure. That's her song, her and DJ Groover. She's got a handful of others, but I fell in love with this song and she allowed me to use it. So anyway, love you, girl.
I love you too.
Thank
you.
You
guys. Thank you for talking with my craziness.
Yeah, it was awesome. You're so cute.
Bye.
Hey, sweetheart.